Let me zoom in so we can see it better. Okay. So I always just start, you don't have to do this, but I always just start with my answer and then my two circles. Because I've got to come up with what I think and my reasons why before I start searching for my best proof. So I work on this first. And I think out loud, or I make notes in my paper. So obviously, I found more evidence that society shapes heroes. What about you? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put that as my answer because that's what I'm claiming to be true. That's what I'm going to argue. Society shapes heroes. And now I've got to think of my reasons why. But before I start writing, I've got to think of them in my head. So maybe I'll go back and look at my annotations. Maybe I'll jot out some ideas to myself. So I know that they talked about how a hero has to have people believe that he's a hero. What were some other things that they said, Alan?
If he doesn't keep up with the society's standards, then he'll be like kicked out of the class.
Okay, so keep up with standards. Or he's kicked out. I like the way you phrased that. What else did they say?
It also said that sometimes when the standards are changed, new heroes arise.
Okay, so the standards change, and therefore we have new heroes. Oh. Popularity picks it. Anything else?
Also, you could use the example of the comic book scenario because during that entire time they're constantly changing their heroes based off of what's like popular or what's happening in the world around them.
So the comic book evolution of heroes. So I've got some good ideas now. Now I've got to use my good ideas that I've come up with and I thought in my head to come up with my two reasons why I say society shapes heroes. And I'm trying to think, in terms of a progressive idea where one thing leads to the next so that they're not separate. We don't want to put the word "and" in between here. That's not as progressive as other bridge words. "And" separates. Roanoke and Tony. Those are two separate people. Sophisticated writers connect ideas. They don't separate them.
You could say that society shapes heroes in the way that they are created to fit our needs for the time.
In the way that they are created to fit our current needs. Period. Boom. Thesis is written. You can use whatever thesis you want. I'm just doing some samples together. Maya can definitely use that one because she just wrote it for us. Tony. Society shapes heroes in the way that they are created to fit our current needs. So then I'm going to have proof about how they're created and then how that fits our needs. Gavin. Yes. Let's do another one. Society shapes heroes. I'll do this one. Because, I spelled because crazy. Because we the people define the role of hero so as we change, so does our definition. Period. So there's another one. So I'm going to give you a moment to think, to maybe formulate one of yours. you can borrow some of these ideas, but I hope not to see these exact thesis statements unless you're Maya, who wrote the first one. And then I'm going to come around and help.